Well, hello there.
Hey.
We are here in Aviary Sessions.
Yes.
Where the energy is soft.
And the combos are real.
And the truth always rises.
Yes.
So welcome. Welcome to our episode 3.
Episode 3, guys.
We're excited.
Yes, we are so excited. Thank you if you're still tuning in and still watching us. Hope that you have enjoyed us so far. Just being ourselves and being silly and letting y'all in on the conversations we have, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super excited to be here. As you see, we're in a different area of the aviary.
The aviary has many, many areas.
Many areas. So there's always a bird involved.
Always.
But yeah, we are in a different area of the aviary. So again, I know you guys might miss the hot tub. We'll be back eventually.
We will.
But it's been hot.
It's hot.
So,
we can't be in the hot tub when it's hot.
Yeah. So, but we still have our bikinis on, and we are still out here living life in beautiful California. So, with that being said, let's get into it.
Yes. So, what's been up, Joy?
How was your week? Mine was good.
My week has been good, actually. I needed that because, sometimes it's be rough, and this last week has been good. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I agree. Like I said, this week has been good. I'm getting a little bored, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Because mental health is important.
Especially
when you're at home.
It's
just kind of like, I never want to feel like I'm just twiddling my thumbs, because I'm a very much want to be involved in everything person. So I don't want to feel like,
yes. Plus, time is our most valuable asset.
Yes.
And we don't want to feel like we're just sitting around wasting time, the most valuable thing that we have available to us. So I definitely understand that, for sure. For sure.
That's how I'm feeling a little bit. But other than that, I am great. So in talking about mental health and just in the season of things that's happening, a conversation popped up. And, Gary is great when it comes to mental health and helping me. And babe, you got it. You're good, whatever. But it got me to thinking, is that my partner's job?
Is it? Your partner's job in what sense of mental health?
To make sure that I feel, so I don't want my spouse to be my therapist.
Agreed. Definitely.
But I do want him to make me feel safe to be able to talk to him.
Yes, agreed.
And have conversations about what's going on and how I'm feeling and things like that. But is it his job to make sure my mental health, as far as those deeper things are handled?
Yeah. Well, I think, first and foremost, like you said, we don't want our partner to be our therapist by any means.
Never.
So if we don't want our partner to be our therapist, then that means we need to have a therapist, okay? Right. So I think that therapy is something that everybody should take part in on a regular basis, honestly, because anybody you talk to, friend, spouse, what have you, is going to give you a subjective viewpoint with their opinion put into it of what they're going to say to you. And that's not what you need when you're going to someone really asking them for help or asking them for their opinion. So I think that having your own therapist, couple therapists, what have you, is important. But like you said, the question, is it your partner's job to be responsible for your mental health? I don't think that it's your partner's job to be responsible, but do I think that your partner should participate in making sure that you are happy and that you are well?
Right.
I think most definitely. That is the difference of living with someone and being married. When you marry someone, you make this commitment to now become one. And so your mental health is their mental health. And that's the commitment that you make to that person. People don't stay married for 80, 50, 60 years long without being responsible for their partner's mental health, for helping them along in that. So I don't think it's a responsibility to cure, heal, fix, resolve that, but to walk beside you in that journey and to have an input. I definitely think 100% that is your partner's responsibility.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that? Yeah. Like, what are your opinions on, is your partner responsible for your mental health?
Yeah.
We say partner. Are you talking husband? Are you talking boyfriend? You know, baby
girlfriend,
daddy, whatever that is. Exactly. Yes.
That's a great segue to understanding where the boundary of your mental health really goes. Mm-hmm. I think therapy is absolutely necessary because hurt people hurt people.
Amen. Amen. But healed people also heal people.
That's true.
Yes.
So I really think when people are not in a healed place, mm-hmm. they don't understand that how important mental health is. Mm-hmm. So mm-hmm. for sure, I think, therapy is super important. But having that partner, spouse, whoever that supports whatever journey you're in on your mental health.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also. Mm-hmm. I think that's very important.
Yeah, definitely. So a little bit of a heavy topic tonight, but I just want to kind of give background on while we're talking about it, because recently in the last week, a teacher at my daughter's previous school committed suicide. Oh. And he was married and he had 3 kids, and prayers go up to his wife and his family, but it makes you think, like, at the end of the day, how his partner feels about that. Like, knowing and seeing what's out there, I know his partner was helping him along that journey and present there. But nonetheless, when you individually feel like it's too much, how does your partner feel? What does that leave on your partner to deal with? So I just want to dedicate this session of this conversation to that person. I won't speak him by name, but it's a difficult conversation to have. It's a conversation that we should be having with our kids. It's a conversation that I had to have with my teenage daughter about just mental health in general. Yeah. And, even as adults, we struggle to the point where even your teacher who you looked up to, who was somebody who helped you in life and helped you through things at school, he struggled, And so it's just the honest, serious conversation we should be having about mental health.
So those that know me know I was touched by suicide very closely. My very best friend that taught me how to ride motorcycles, the whole gamut, committed suicide. Mm-hmm. And I had to go through therapy a long time to really realize that it wasn't my fault. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to go into all the details about it, but I felt responsible for a long time because he called me right before he did it. Mm-hmm. And I didn't answer the phone. And the chaplain told me, I also found him, but the chaplain told me when I was at the house, when I called 911, they only call you for 2 things. To let you watch them do it or take you with them.
Wow.
So I was actually talking to my mom when he called me, and I never switch over my mom. My mom's in her late 70s. And I just don't do it. So, but he knew that. He knew I'd be on the phone. When he called, he knew I'd be on the phone with her, and he knew my thing that I don't switch over. So, I don't know if he even wanted to talk to me.
Right.
But if I would have clicked over, what would have
happened? Yeah.
And when I tell you, this man was absolutely successful, had properties, vacation homes, the whole gamut, was married, had a 4-year daughter.
Wow.
Dropped her off at school and went home and committed suicide. And he left a note, and that note said, "Loneliness is not a state of mind." That was all it said. So when you're battling your own demons and no one knows what you're going through.
Yes.
Your best friends, your brothers, your cousins, your sisters.
Right.
Nobody knows what's going on. And mental health is such a important thing for you to take care of. Mm-hmm. And I know it sounds like we're doing a whole PSA on this.
We are, but we aren't.
Right. Yeah. We definitely will move on.
Yes.
But I want to make sure that people understand, if you're feeling like you need to talk to somebody, please reach out.
Please.
Yes. The suicide hotline is 611 or the 988. Which one is it?
988.
988, yeah. Mm-hmm. Please reach out.
Yes.
I really want people to understand that you're not alone, and people need you whether you know it or not.
Yes.
Amen. They really need you. Yes. So for a teacher.
Yes.
A teacher.
who is a teacher of middle school kids who deals with this. Exactly. You know, it's really difficult. So I say that to say exactly. We came on starting with this because it is important. Anybody who knows me knows I love you. And if you ever have anything that you need someone to talk to and just listen, I'm right here. I promise you that. No judgment. Just, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Same. And so also along that lines, I just say to say, you know, our question was like, is it our partner's responsibility to save us?
Yeah.
And, you know, at the end of the day, partner or not, if there's somebody in your life that needs someone to talk to, that needs help, if you can be that person for them, great. If you can't because you can't hold that responsibility, point them in the right direction. 988, point them out there, you know. Let us not go through life not being what we were intended to be, which is to love each other and be there for each other. And you never know what the smallest little smile or, hey, how are you, means to somebody. Right. So smile. Like, I'm sure you've got a great one. You've got a beautiful one. Share that smile. Yeah. Be somebody's safe place, especially your partner. Yeah. Yeah.
Amen. Yeah. So we're going to move on, but definitely. Thank you so very much.
So we're going to end this segment for a quick minute and we'll be right back with you guys.
Thank you.
Hey guys. Welcome back to Aviary Sessions.
So we know we went a little heavy a second ago, so we're going to go ahead and lighten it up just slightly because this is still another serious conversation that I think we need to have.
Yes.
We were talking earlier about, so my son's gotten into fishing, right? And we were talking about you have to have a license. The game warden came up on him today, and he has a license, of course, and whatnot.
But hold on, I asked, what's the fishing license for? What does it do? Like, do you earn something? You have to learn something? Like, what's the purpose of a fishing license, y'all?
So I guess it's a rule. You got to have it. You got to have this fishing license because they want to make sure that you're not taking all the fish. I don't know. It's a rule.
Am I going to go to jail if I don't have one?
You probably you get fined.
Oh, so they just want money. They just want money. Okay. Right. Now I'm understanding.
But it's a rule. Got it. Okay. It's a rule. But again, what's the point of that rule? They want to make some money.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that made us think, you know, if the rule is just to make money, and if you break that rule and you just get a fine or whatever,
you're just going to charge me more money.
Right. What's the point?
What's the point, though?
What's the point? You know, we were really, I was tripping. Because I was like,
so we're talking about rules. Like, what's the point of following rules? If your rules are not made for a valid reason, what's the point of me following them? But even if your rules are made for a valid reason, what's the point of me following them? So I was telling Joy, I'm on the way to her house, and her living in her little bougie neighborhood you can only access from one way. Like, I have to make U-turns and stuff to get here.
That's true.
And so the light to make the U-turn takes a long time from the direction I come from. So the traffic coming towards me, they still have a green light. There's nobody coming. It's safe. Like, is it okay if I break the rules then? Like, you know, what's going to happen if I break the rules? No one's going to die. No one's going to get hurt. I'm going to make sure it's safe. So is it okay if I break the rules? What's the point?
What's the point? So when it comes down to it, you know, what's the point on rules? And we're not talking. I lost my pen.
Oh.
And we're not talking just you know, red lights and things like that, but all the way from Trump and that bad behavior and things like that. You know, if Trump, and I'm not going to get super political, that's not what this is about. But say they're, you know, the whole war and whatnot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Everybody has their feelings about it. Whatever. However,
However, legally, to start a war, you're supposed to get the approval of Congress. And I don't know all the details.
Right.
It's not about politics. But that is a rule.
That's the rule.
Is you have to go to Congress. And he did not.
Right.
So a lot of people have a problem with the war because it wasn't started through the proper channels. He didn't follow the rules.
He didn't follow the rules.
Yes.
So with that, you know, what? And is there any punishment for that? We haven't seen anything.
No. I've seen my gas go up.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, a lot.
I have a diesel. Yeah. So it's gone. Gas has gone up. You know, beef is off the chain.
Yeah.
So what is the point of following these rules if there's really not even a slap on the wrist?
There's no repercussions to it. So why do I need to follow the rules? As long as like me not following the rules for me doesn't hurt somebody, doesn't cost them something, like why can't I just do what I want to do? What's the point of me following the rules?
So devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Now, I hear you on the little street comes to mind.
Yes.
However, don't be doing that over on campus. Don't be doing that.
Well, it don't take as long either.
Right. Don't be doing that over on Bryant.
No, not at all.
And Champlain.
No. I don't want to be on that YouTube channel. I want to be on this YouTube channel.
Fresno Roulette. Shout out to Fresno Roulette.
Yes, we love you.
We love you. We do not want to be on Fresno Roulette.
We do not.
So, with that being said, you know, I think it comes down to common sense too.
Well, and then I guess common sense isn't so common, you know. So I guess, so that makes sense why there's rules. Yes, you're right, because I don't want to put my life in the hands of somebody else who doesn't have common sense. But I mean, you know, if I have it and I'm making sure what I do is right, like what's the big deal?
If it doesn't apply to you, why does that apply to the other guy?
That's true. That's true.
So if anyone's ever drove around in Oakland, they literally say, you know about this, right? They literally say, a red light's just a suggestion. Wait, what?
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
I was driving and I had a coworker that I used to work with that lived in Oakland, and I stopped at the stoplight, right? And they're like, and they looked at me like I was crazy, like, why are you stopping?
Right.
There's no cars coming.
There's no cars coming.
I'm like,
no, girl.
I'm like, it's red though. You're in Oakland. It's a suggestion.
And that is true. Do not stop at a red light in Oakland. You will be scared and wish you hadn't. Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
I was actually, my gabbers were flabbered. I was just like, what do you mean it's a suggestion? I passed my driver's test on a red light, knowing that red lights are supposed to be red, and you stop.
But there's no cars around, so, I mean.
Common sense, people. Common sense.
I mean.
Okay. So.
And the rules is what you're saying?
Yes.
You know, I guess Big Bird and Elmo did teach me that at a young age. Right. But you know.
I'm following rules, y'all. I'm following rules. Okay. I'm going to make her follow rules too, because
I try.
She's going to follow the rules too.
I just really wanted to like flip around and run that red light, girl. I was getting mad. I was like, dang, I've been here for a minute.
She's like, I got the margaritas.
Right. Exactly. Trying to get there. Trying to get here.
So, she made it. She did not run the red light.
I did not.
So, you know.
So tell us, what are some rules y'all are breaking? Because I know, I've seen the drivers around here. I know y'all are breaking some driving rules at least. But what other kind of rules are y'all breaking? What do you guys think about rules, and what's the point? And is it about common sense? So give us some feedback.
So are y'all going to Walmart and not putting the right amount of bags that y'all actually using?
Excuse me, miss. Mind your business, please. Thank you.
Because the rule is you're supposed to put how many bags you're actually using.
Yes.
When you put in there. So are y'all breaking
don't let me hear nobody say we don't go to Walmart, we go to Target. Because we ain't going to Target now.
No, we're not.
Walmart's all we got right now. Right now. I don't want to hear that.
Mm-hmm. So, are you guys breaking that rule? You know? Are you breaking that?
I was just joking.
So anyway, are you breaking that rule? Are you breaking the and then are you breaking the rules about etiquette? Because you know those are a whole nother kind of
rules. That's a whole nother, yes.
So you know there's you know, and I've broken the rule on gym etiquette a lot because sometimes I don't feel like it. So you know, right now they have the whole spray bottle thing where you're supposed to wipe down the machine.
Yes. You don't wipe your machine down?
Not all the time.
Oh, okay.
Not all the time. Now again, if I get on there, I got sweaty coochie or something. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. And you silly. I am gonna wipe it down and all that. But
what if they don't want you to though? What if they want you to break the rule?
That's again, Aviary Sessions after dark. Aviary Sessions after dark. But if I'm there and you know, I actually my hands sweat. So if I'm on something and my hands are sweat, I will go ahead and do it too.
Yes.
But if I'm on something that I'm not even sitting on and I'm just doing something with my legs or something like that, I'm not wiping it off. I'm not doing it. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So that's a rule I break.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
don't
even
break
saying
any rules. I follow all the rules.
All of them?
All of them.
But you were the one just talking about you wanted to run.
I didn't break the rule. I just said I wanted to. I didn't say I did it.
I think you have, but okay.
Okay.
I think yeah.
I mean,
have you watched more? Oh, have you went to the movies and watched 2 movies and paid for one? You did. You took too long.
Maybe.
That was a rule that wasn't broken. See, she broke it. Anywho, and that goes to bad behavior. You know, when you're breaking rules and things like that, and we were talking earlier about Jackie's dating.
The non-existent life of Jackie.
However, we came to a conclusion, though, that's not all okay. All right. So that's not just an epiphany that, oh my God, it's not that. So we came to epiphany. And that's for another story.
Yeah, we will. We'll talk
but
about
anyway,
that later.
Bad behavior. So we were talking about dating and some of the bad behavior things that kind of pop up on from people. From, you know, there's a, and I'm trying not to throw Gary under the bus here. I know. Because
you can't throw Gary under the bus.
No, because it's really not even, he doesn't have any bad behavior, really.
No.
I mean, there's things that get on my nerves, but nothing that's just bad behavior. He does turn the light on and don't turn it off sometimes. That gets on my nerves. But other than that, he'll turn the light. So he'll go into a room, flip the light off, leave it, and I'm sitting here looking like, he ain't gonna come back? He ain't gonna come back? So there's that. But anyway, I wouldn't even say it's bad behavior.
No.
So, but, you know, bad behavior, things like, I always have to speed when I'm in the car, or just, you know, bad behaviors. Even when in dating, when the behavior is, I'm only going to make sure that we go Dutch whenever we go out.
Oh.
I'm sorry, that's bad behavior to me.
That's bad behavior. that's
bad behavior. To me, because again,
that's bad behavior.
That's not soft life. That's bad behavior.
That's not protected life, and that's the only life I choose to live.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. So I think when you're talking about bad behavior and some of the YNs out there that are kind of running these streets all willy-nilly right about now. I mean, the news is disheartening.
Very.
It's disheartening.
It is very.
Especially when you see it really is our young people, man. There's a 13. Did you see that? A 13-year-old. They can't charge an adult for murder. 13. That's a young in. That's a YY. That's a YN squared.
It's a BYN. A baby YN.
Baby YN.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not understanding how the bad behavior has gotten to a point where literally our children are on the news.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just sad. I think that, you know, we just get so, what's the word I'm looking for? We get so disillusioned with life. We get so numb to what's really happening that...
Do you think we're desensitized?
I think we are to a degree, you know, because when I talked to my daughter about her teacher that committed suicide, she actually already knew before I talked to her about it. And it was like, yeah, I know, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, she knew what happened.
You never talked about shit.
But it was like, and I'm sorry, I say this respectively, but it wasn't a big deal because it's not the first person. It won't be the last person. And at such a young age to feel and have that mentality, I think that's where we get the desensitization from. Because I was literally like a grown 18, 19, 20-year-old before I even knew one person who passed away, like a family member who passed away. You know, so My kids in this generation,
I was in my 40s.
See, yeah, my kids in this generation, they see people dying all the time. They see young people dying, people they know, people they went to school with dying, or being the one killing.
Yeah.
You know, that I think we do get desensitized in that sense, you know, about it. But you know, again, it just goes back to the humor of what we were saying to start about rules.
Yeah.
People think that they don't have to live by anybody else's rules. They can live by their rules. And then we get to a point where you continue to do what you want to do, and the rules are set out for the betterment of the majority of people. And so when you choose to live by your own rules and do what you want, then you're only doing what's for the betterment of you.
Right.
And then we get into the place where we are today. Right. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I
where 13-year-olds are like going to be tried for murder, where 15 and 16-year-olds are stalking someone and murdering somebody.
At
McDonald's. Like, it's just crazy. No matter what you think about whatever happened and what the story is behind it, the fact that we have babies killing babies is wild.
Yeah.
So that's why we want to follow the rules, people. We want to do what's best for the betterment of others. So it's not just about you. It's following rules. We have them there for a reason, no matter what minute scale they're on. If it's in kindergarten, walking in line from shortest to tallest, or if it's not running a red light. Like, rules are in place for a reason.
So let's tie this into our faith. And, you know, how we know there's the 10 Commandments, which are aka rules.
Yes.
How do you put those people, you know, with those rules that we have, you know, what you're supposed to do, what God tells you you're supposed to do in the Bible, and everyday life. Because again, sometimes it's not practical, you know. And I know I grew up on fire and brimstone, you know, Southern Baptist. That's what I grew up on. So there was no New Testament. It was all Old Testament.
King James Version.
Yes.
How art thou?
Yes. There was no new version.
Amen.
There was the 10 Commandments were the life rules.
Yes.
You know, thou shalt not is all I heard. Those were the rules. So I think now a lot of people look at the New Testament, which those rules haven't changed if you look at it.
No. He's
actually tightened it up a bit more. Really. Before it was thou will not commit adultery. Now you can't even look at her, think about her, or, you know, have those lustful feelings. And because that's the New Testament commandment. So it's actually, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I follow the New Testament. I was like, it's actually a little more stricter, you know. Or some people think like, well, you know, there's nobody. I don't believe there's anybody there, and, you know, I think that, you know, we're just here, and once we die, there's nothing else. I was like, but what if you're wrong? But what if you're wrong? Well, you don't know. I was like, exactly. But I would rather trust and believe, and then find out later, like, there's nobody here. You know?
Although I assure you that's not going to be the case.
But I'm just saying,
I hear you.
I'd rather do that than not trust and believe and end up like, oh, there's somebody here that's going to judge me now. So, that's just, again, I'm not trying to push nothing on nobody, but that's just the way I believe.
Amen.
And when we are not following even, you know, God's rules on love one another and take care of one another and look out for your neighbor, because a lot of people aren't. And I think because retribution isn't instant, you're not going to get punished right now if you don't help thy neighbor. A lot of people think that. Although I believe in karma as well. And I think karma comes back, and it's coming back faster and faster every year. You know? Do you believe in karma?
I think that, I wouldn't say karma, I would say that I leave it into God's hands for him to handle how he's going to. And his way is always better than my way.
Right.
And so whatever is
that
due to you according to God's judgment, if that may be the case, then that's going to be better than any karma I would think for you. So yes.
Yeah. So same. So I do too. However, there's been so many times that I've just watched events happen, and again, I'll be the first to tell you I truly believe in God's favor, and I believe I'm one of His favorites. I've seen events just happen in like slow motion. Like, is that karma because of something you did to me? Because I feel like you're getting that because of what you did to me. That's happened so many different times, and I feel like I think there's a bug on the screen. Because look, you see that big black string right there?
Is that a bug?
I think there's a fucking It is. It's a big one. Look, girl, if you stand up, look, you stand up, and you can see it on there. Look, it's a big line.
Oh, yeah.
You see it?
Yes.
Get off the damn screen. Get out.
That is hilarious. Oh my God. I didn't even realize. I thought that was just the way you had the screen.
I'm about to figure out now how to edit that out.
Fudge, this whole time.
No, it just got on there because I saw it, I think.
Okay. Well, if it just came, we can figure that out.
We can figure that out. Anyway.
Funny. Okay.
I might leave it on there though and like cut off a couple of things. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
I'll edit.
Okay.
Well, girl, just win.
I know.
I like it though. It feels good.
Exactly. It feels good.
Anyway, so let's get back into it.
Yes.
So yeah, I think, if you're looking at not trying to really follow the rules, you're going to end up I think you're going to end up disappointed.
Oh, absolutely. 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 Rules are in place for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think that is first and foremost. If you are not following God's rules for life that He intended to us, you will be extremely disappointed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just the same as not following the rules. Because, I could have run that red light and made that U-turn, and in about 30 days, I'm sure Fresno PD is going to send me a ticket in the mail.
You know it.
I mean,
it
still cost me something.
Right.
So what was the point?
Well, what's the point?
The point.
That tonight's theme. What's the point?
Right. Yes.
So we want to, make sure that you guys understand that this is something we love doing.
We love to allow you to see the inner speakings of Joi and Jackie. And, sometimes you may want to come and get up close and personal, because what happens behind the scenes is even more comical than what you guys are seeing. I promise you.
I mean, I'm going to tell you a little secret. So we're usually studio ready. At 7 o'clock is what time we kind of meet up, right? She comes over here about 7 o'clock. That's where we don't get on here and start doing something until like 9. It's 9.
Is it that late? I didn't even realize.
So yeah,
we're just having a good time.
Because we have a good time. We didn't sat in the pool anyway, but because we have a great time.
Yes,
I love her.
Yes,
we are. It's like sisters, because I love talking to her, and I love getting little insights.
Yes, definitely.
The insights is
to see somebody else's point of view, or somebody check you on yourself very much, So, but it's all love, because, that's just what's happening here. So we just hope that you guys enjoy the conversation as much as we do. Here at Aviary Sessions, the energy is soft.
Conversations are real.
And the truth always rises.
Amen. Thank you guys so much for joining us. See you guys next time.
Bye.
And again, follow us.
Yes.
Subscribe.
Like, share,
all of that.
Above. Thank you.
AviarySessions.com.
Ah.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.